There's nothing in here.
I was like, yeah, maybe, Chris, you could probably do this all. It's a little better than what I got.
Jailbirds, are you here?
Okay, we should jam sometime. Episode whatever.
Yeah.
No, I got to tell you, I know that we have a topic kind of, but I thought this would be a funny, quick story to get us in. So at work this week, the one thing I hate more than anything is I always got my headphones on and I'm working away.
Yeah.
And then people will want to fucking talk to you, and I hate that, especially older people. And I get it, but also, fuck off. So I'm at this lady's place, and she comes, and this lady opens the door, and I'm just like, oh my fuck god. So I take the earbud out, and this old lady's like, she goes, did you do my son's place? Which I hate because I don't fucking know, lady.
I have no idea
so,
who your family is.
And then so she's like talking to me, and she like keeps hopping around from topic to topic, and I'm just like, holy shit. And she's like, it's crazy what's going on in the world right now, eh? And I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, well, you're pretty young, right? And I go, yeah. And then she goes, I'm 91. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's crazy. And she's like, are you married? And I go, no, I'm not married. And she goes, what do you mean? Nobody's got you yet? And I go, oh, I was like, well, I do have a girlfriend. I've been with her for a while. And she goes, oh, okay. She's like, well, don't get married if you're not ready. She's like, I get it. You could do it for the sex or, in between the sheets or whatever.
Whoa.
But if you don't love somebody, don't get married. And I'm
God.
just like, what is fucking happening?
What's going on?
And
this 91-year-old is talking about sleeping with people right now.
Exactly. And then she goes, all right, I'll let you get on with your day. And then she goes, but hey, buddy, I love you.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, okay, have a good one.
Caleb, I think you're almost the victim of a workplace harassment.
Almost, dude. Dude, I immediately called Julia, and I was like, you're going to need to pick it up because there are people in line.
I am a hot commodity around here.
Yeah. I could be on the market like that if I needed to be.
The 91-year-olds, they love me.
They love me, dude.
That is funny.
Yeah.
That is funny. Well, actually, so I guess it's a bit of a bridge between the last episode and this one, but that's a funny because I get that a lot with my coworkers. They'll there's one that he's always talking. I get rides, I carpool with him to work and back every day, and he'll always be talking about buying a house and getting married. And he's just like, yeah, like when I get married, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, right on, dude. And like I'm single, right? And he'll just be like, you need to get a girlfriend, man. We're like, what? Don't you ever think about getting married or having kids? And I'm just like, shut up. Just stop.
Yeah.
What? First off, I don't even want to think about that, but it's just like, I'm not even seeing anyone. Like, what are you, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't do this to me.
Yeah.
Like the pressure.
Dude, because we're kind of working Saturdays right now, I guess, for a little bit. And he was my, the sales supervisor, but he's also working. He's also doing some of the road work right now. But he has a daughter, and he's not with the mom or anything, so the custody's split up or whatever. Okay. But he doesn't have to work on the weekends because of it. And I was like, dude, I got to get myself a kid so I don't have to be working these Saturdays. Yeah. He was like, don't do that. That's not a good enough reason to get a kid.
That is not the best reason.
Yeah. I'm like, well, it seems like you can get out of a lot of stuff.
Well, it sure seems like a pretty good reason, I got to say.
Yeah. You could get a pet or something. Pets can't get you out of work really, but they can get you out of other stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But you don't want to be that guy.
No.
But yeah, man, I don't. Is kids something that you think about?
It is.
Or marriage. We kind of talked about marriage one time here.
Yeah,
because your buddy got married.
Yeah, my friend Jordan is happily married. He just got married recently. So I hope it's happy. But marriage, yeah, for sure. Because and it, I guess, yeah, your parents are still together, right? Your parents are together.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing is, I'm the same way. My parents are still together, right? And so marriage isn't something that's frowned upon in my head, right? It's like, if you love somebody, you get married, kind of thing. But
right.
That kind of comes with being with the right person. But the kids thing, yeah, I like for a long time I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be a dad. I'm gonna be a sick dad. I still think I would be. I would be a sick dad. But again, it's just it's hard to you don't want to think about it too much because like you're not like well, I mean I'm not with anybody, but I mean it's like well, if you're not with the right person, it's just like I'm not gonna think about fucking having kids. You crazy?
Oh yeah.
You know. What about you? Is Caleb gonna be a baby daddy one day?
Dude, it's something I go back and forth in my head a lot. It's like I mean like marriage is something I'm pretty indifferent to.
Okay.
That's more of like you know, I would do it. It's not like but I don't necessarily like need the paper or whatever.
Right.
I'm more down to just fucking like let's have a party, man.
Yeah.
And then we can
exactly
move on with our lives or whatever.
Why get the government into it?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like we already own all of the things together.
Right.
We are, you know, but and then like I mean in terms of kids, like yeah, but it's like one of those things where it's like I don't know. I'm not necessarily in a rush.
Yeah.
I'm still learning how to take care of myself.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I don't. But I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where you're like, man, I feel like I have all this wisdom in my 23 years. I'd like to bestow on.
Yeah. Exactly.
A little tiny me. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think so, man. I think. I mean, and I am with somebody. But I think I want kids more than she does, though.
Yeah. Okay.
She's
I feel
also
like
in the room with me right now.
yeah, I feel like I've always been the like I don't think I've really had that talk. I've had the talk with maybe two partners in my past, but where they'll be like, "Do you want kids?" And it's just like, it's like you want to say. I've always wanted to say yeah, but it's like doesn't necessarily mean with you, you know. Like I mean, not and also especially not right now, you know. Like I touched on it with the last solo podcast that we did. It's like I'm a musician, you know, like right now where I want to be on the road for half the year, like I definitely don't want to be a dad because that's not fair to my kid. But I mean, it's also not fair to me because I'm not going to get to see my kid. You know, it's just like that just sounds lame.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things where it's well, then it's like, you know, I had a friend. It doesn't matter who it was, but there was like a scare. And he was like, "Oh well, great. Like music's fucking over. Like I can't be in these bands, and like I have to get like a real job now, and like I can't do this thing."
Right.
And like that's another, and it would just get to a point where like, I mean, I don't know. I guess if you were like a good dude, but I just feel like you know if there was like an accident or something, and then you know I would step up, but then at some point. I feel like I would be like, man, I didn't get to even try to do the thing that I wanted to do now, you know, and that's not healthy.
Yeah, that's like I would definitely not want to have a kid until I'm like financially ready is a big one for me. Because I mean, like fucking, I'm a broke musician, like many of them are. But I mean, I don't plan on not pursuing me. Like if there was for some reason like the stork dropped a fucking infant into my house tomorrow, you know, like I wouldn't be giving up the music thing. Absolutely not. And it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that because like the other day I was going through like my Facebook memories thing, and it was like 2013. Craig shared some like list of things that you need to know as a musician, kind of one of those shitty memes from back in the day. And it was one of them was like just because your singer had a baby doesn't mean that he can't be in your band. And it's funny that I shared that because, like, I definitely think that's the case. You know, like, right now, like, fucking, if Jared was just like, yeah, man, I'm having a kid, I'd just be like, it's over. Find another band, I guess. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty, like, I mean, I wouldn't, if that happened to me, like, yeah, I would still pursue it. But I mean, like, I'd feel like I'm definitely weighing down, like, as having an infant child, you know, like, for the first fucking few years, you're not going to want to be on the road for half the year.
No. For sure.
That'd
or
be
like
insane.
maybe that's the best time to be on the road, you know.
I guess.
He's just crying and stuff, you know?
Yeah. It's going to be really
It's not
fucking
like he
loud and there's going to be shit in his pants all the time.
Yeah, it's like he can't play catch, so, you know.
Yeah, give
Go
me a
play
call.
bass.
Give me a call when he fits in that baseball glove that I left behind.
Yeah. Yeah, you just fucking throw down a baseball glove and you're like when his hand can fit in that, give me a call.
On this episode, Craig is going to be a deadbeat dad.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh,
This is not
jeez.
going to be good for the future when they're like, when we do have kids, and they're like, we have some questions regarding this podcast you guys did
Yeah.
fucking 10 years ago.
I always think about that with like comedians that put out specials and they talk about their like infant children. And like Tim Minchin has this song, it's called Lullaby, and it's basically about like, I really wish my kid would shut the fuck up, you know? And like there's like a couple lines where like, of course he's joking, everybody, but like he's saying like
Yeah.
like making like smothering your baby jokes and like shaking baby jokes. And it's like can you imagine being his daughter like at like 10 finally listens to the song? It's just like, Dad, what the fuck's that all about, huh?
Yeah, yeah. What is this?
What the hell, dude? Oh man.
Oh my god.
But
Man, that's
yeah,
fucking crazy.
we were, I guess it kind of that blends into the topic we were going to talk about, being a musician and maintaining relationships, whether they be friendships, being in a romantic relationship, all that jazz. Babies definitely fall into that one. So that's I don't think that I would be a very good dad right now. That's for sure. As a musician, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man, I couldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
I couldn't go, be working this fucking shitty job and then come home and it's like, you got to just be on like all the time, man.
Oh my
No.
God.
There's no way.
I complain about that
There's no way.
with just like people in general, let alone having to like care for somebody else and have to be on the whole time. Like I gotta like, not only do you have to like make sure it doesn't die, right? That's like the bare minimum. Make sure your kid doesn't
Yeah.
die, but like
Yeah.
bestow wisdom on them and like give them life lessons and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking, because I remember that shit really early on. I remember my dad when I don't know how old I was, but he told me that he knew everything, and I believed that so hard.
Oh yeah.
For like 4
yeah.
years, until there was one day, I forget what it was, something trivial. I asked him a question. He was like, I don't know, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
You don't know? What are you talking about? It's like no one knows then? Like, oh my God. But I mean,
Dude,
like,
it's funny. Like, I'll if there's something up with my car, I'll ask my dad, and then like he might kind of know,
mhm.
but then he'll ask my grandpa, and then my grandpa will definitely know,
Right.
and then I just think like, oh man, my kid is fucked because like I don't know anything,
Yeah.
and then my dad has like a very limited knowledge of it.
Right.
Or like, dude, my dad will do this like really annoying thing where like you'll ask him a question and he'll be like, I don't know, like you're an idiot for asking him.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, well, fuck, man, like, I don't know, I thought maybe you'd have some insight. And then he'll fucking just help you. And you'll be like, why did we do this other step?
Yeah,
where,
like
you pretended like
you were
didn't
roasting
know.
me for a bit
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. It's so annoying because he'd be like, I don't know. And you're like, okay, well, I was maybe just thinking that you might know a little bit, so you could maybe help me. And then he'll like fuck with the thing, and then he'll be like, yeah, okay, this is how you fix it. I'm like, why didn't you just fucking fix it?
Yeah, that's
Like,
rough.
Why couldn't you just? Why do we have to jump through all these hoops? I never understood why he did that, and I don't know if he knows that he does that, but it's a very frequent thing.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad is similar, where like you'll ask him a question, or you'll ask him about his day or something, like anything, right? You'll be like, hey, Dad, what'd you get up to? And he'll always give you like a 4-word answer first, and you got to like respond to that, and then he'll start telling you about it, maybe. It's just,
Right.
it's ridiculous. He'll just be like, what about this? It's like, oh, it's this. Or like, how was your day?
Yeah,
It was a day. And you're like,
yeah.
you're like, all right, well, and then he's like, yeah, well, I went and played hockey, and then I went to the store, and it's just like, oh my God, like, why didn't you just say, oh, I did all this stuff, instead of like, bleh,
Yeah.
just like groan at me almost.
Yeah.
What a dad thing to do. Everything's got to
Oh
be,
my
it's
God.
like, he's like mansplaining his day.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. It was funny. It was my dad's birthday today, so I called him when I got home from work, and I'm like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm building this thing for your mom for like the laundry or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Man, she's always giving you a project to do, eh?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah, man, it's crazy." And I go, you know, you'd think like she's been off for 6 weeks. You'd think that she could maybe, pull her weight. And he's like, that's what I've been trying to tell her. It's like, I'm not unemployed. You're unemployed.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could be fixing stuff up. Like, it's so funny because like my dad can work from home, and he's just been like, man, Your mom's really fucking up the rhythm of my day. You know?
Yeah, for sure. That's funny.
Just like the most basic shit. He's like, I can't even like just pace around the house for like a little bit because it's like, what are you doing? What's going on? Why are you pacing?
Yeah, yeah.
Just can you fucking leave so I can just be myself?
Yeah, I definitely, you have to kind of like cull your behavior when you're with roommates too. Like, I mean, you lived in a house with like 6 people, right? I live in a house with 3. I mean, like, not that a lot of them are not here right now just because of the quarantine. They're staying with other people, but now I've got the whole house to myself. Like, fucking, like literally the other day, just walked around completely naked for the first time. So great.
That was pretty awesome.
Oh
That's
man,
a good feeling.
it was amazing. It was so great. It's so liberating. But like, yeah, there's so many things that you just can't do. Like, you can't just sit on a couch and just like stare at the wall for a bit because someone will be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, what's up?
Why can't I just like check out for a bit?
Yeah. And you can't like talk to yourself too loud.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, like what's going on in there?
I'm so glad that you're one of those
fucking-
people too. I talk to myself all day.
Oh, dude, I talk to myself. Yeah, all of the time. Yeah.
We're gonna
And
have so
then,
many
dude, and
listeners that are like,
sometimes-
"That's not normal, dude."
Sometimes I'll think like I'll be like in the bedroom kind of talking to myself and I'll be like doing it quiet because Julie's in the other room and then I'll just hear, who are you talking to? I'll be like, why do you have to make it weird? Like, why can't I just talk to myself?
Yeah, for sure.
And just, that's how I figure stuff out.
Yeah, I forgot that
I can't.
you probably seen this too. There's some comedian that has special, and it was just like, sometimes you'll just have that mantra that you say out loud, and it's just like, well, I mean, he is right. It's like just out loud for nobody. It's like if someone hears you say that, like I gotta say that shit. That's gotta come out of my face, or I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
And then when my roommates are around,
last week I fucking it was my grandma's birthday on Sunday, so I was opening my phone to call her. So I go to like the phone thing, and then on my call history, I see like a friend that I had in high school was there that I had called out to that like haven't texted, didn't even know this person's number was in my fucking phone, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So I just have this panic, like I'm like, okay, well I definitely pocket dialed him. I have no idea that I pocket dialed him. And it was like the time was when I was at work. So I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like for sure was talking to myself in the truck or something.
Oh no.
So I texted him and I'm like, hey man, did I leave you like a voicemail yesterday or did I pocket dial you? And he goes, yes, it was a fantastic message. And I was like,
No.
oh fuck.
No
And
way.
I was like, what did I say? And he's like, honestly, I couldn't really make out like any words or anything. Like, I don't know. It was pretty garbled. It sounded like a pocket dial message. And I was like, oh,
That
thank
is so
God.
funny.
And I was like, as long as I didn't say anything too incriminating. And he's like, no, I was honestly pretty disappointed. I'm like, okay. Because I'm just like trying to go through the Rolodex of like a day's worth of like
Of chatter.
conversation that I could have been having with myself.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God, how fucking embarrassing is that?
Yeah, I was gonna say like at work for me, like I'll have those rage conversations with myself sometimes too, right? So it's like it'd be funny if it was like, you have reached please leave a message at the tone, and it's just like fucking you're just screaming at yourself in the van.
Holy shit.
I
Oh my
definitely,
God.
I would definitely have that kind of luck.
Oh
that
man,
is
and it was
awesome.
kind of funny because of like who it was. I was just like, oh man, like this guy would have told everybody
Right.
if it was something weird, and I was just like, oh my God.
So kind of thank
Yeah.
God that it wasn't an interesting message then.
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah, it really wouldn't have been anything. Like I don't. It's not that I talk to myself about anything that interesting.
Yeah.
Just trying to solve the world's issues.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. World hunger, homelessness,
Yeah.
cure for
Why
diabetes.
don't they just feed everybody?
Why don't we just eat Jeff Bezos? Oh my God.
Just, they have all this extra tuna. Just fucking send the tuna
Yeah.
to the.
Oh my God. Well, don't we have all those chickens in like a huge chicken house? Why don't we just give all those
Just
to
send
the
them-
people?
Just teach them to farm.
Yeah, dude. Why doesn't
Yeah, that's
everyone
really
just start a
fucked up.
farm? Like, duh. Jeez.
Why can't everybody? Dude, I had a friend who in high school was trying to grow weed in a shed in another property that his parents owned. And he was trying to tell them that he was going to start a garden in that shed. And I don't think he ever got caught for it.
What? He
Yeah.
he just said, I'm starting up a horticulture interest. And they were like,
Yeah.
sure,
yeah.
dude. I'm just going to grow some
Yeah.
perennials in the shed. Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah. And the funny thing was he got caught a lot for smoking, and his parents were not cool with it.
But they never
so that's
thought.
what made it even
They
and
never
that's what made
thought,
it even
where does he
funnier
get it?
that he was going to start this fucking garden
Oh
that
my
was
God.
just to grow weed.
You know
And,
that mom
because-
drinks a lot of wine. Like that's just that's a wine mom for sure.
Oh yeah, dude. It was so they lived on a farm, but then they owned this other like field basically
Right.
where like people would
Okay.
rent it to just like put their cows.
Yeah.
And there was this shed on the
Other property.
but it was like we broke into it and like fixed it up and everything. Cause it was also like kind of like a cottage thing. I don't know. It's fucking weird, man. And we called it the doghouse. And the point was to like we spent like a good week fucking cleaning this thing up to be like
Renovating
our
it.
hangout. And then we fucking never used it.
Wow.
It was just gonna be to fucking grow this weed in it, and then it never. And then I don't even like. I think something happened with the plants, and they didn't even grow, and then that was it.
Oh.
But yeah, so the garden, and now he's in BC planting trees. God bless
Oh,
you.
of course he is. He's one of those tree planter
Good
motherfuckers.
buddy.
My cousin's a
Yes.
tree planter motherfucker, and like
dude.
I'm jelly.
Need him, I guess.
It seems like they make
Yeah.
a lot of money. They do
I think
really
they do,
well.
and I think that if you get fucking good at planting trees, then you can make a lot of money.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But
Well, that
Yeah,
kind
he's a
of,
good
I mean,
dude.
that kind of trails it over to friends, you know? I mean, like, because I mean, when we were chatting beforehand, like we've got most of our friends are musician friends, I would say, our
Yeah.
closer ones.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, definitely in this life that I'm living right now.
yeah, definitely. But like maintaining friendships with non-musician people or like people that you went to high school with, you know, like
Yeah,
it's tough. In my purse, I'll put that one out there first. It's tough for me to like keep up with people that are not musicians because I mean my circle is almost all musician people. Like even all the people I live with are all musicians.
yeah. Well, and it must be weird for you because you never like you still live where you grew up.
Yeah, I'm in the same
Like,
city.
Like for me, it's almost feels. I was gonna say literally, obviously not literally. It figuratively feels like two different worlds. Like when I
Right.
drive into Meaford, like it feels like I'm like entering this different alternate life. And it's really strange. And
Yeah.
especially around like the holiday time when we're actually like hanging out more frequently and it's kind of like
Mhm.
the gang's all back together.
Yeah.
It feels really strange. For like a multitude of reasons cuz I also like hung out with the quote unquote cool kids, but I never felt like I was never top tier in that crew.
Right.
And so it feels really weird because I just like don't have any like questions about my friendships here. Like I don't even feel like there's really like a hierarchy or anything like that. That I
No,
think
yeah.
that like high school just sort of like naturally has.
Yeah, it definitely
And
does.
so it always feels weird going back because like I don't ever feel like cool or uncool when I'm in London. And then when I'm like hanging out with everybody, and it's weird because like I love all those guys and gals, but it definitely like the hierarchy feels like it comes back into place where it's like, oh yeah, like it still kind of is what it is,
Yeah,
is what it was,
definitely.
you know. But it's not to say that I don't love all those guys. It's just everybody, it's different, different
Mhm.
lifestyles and stuff.
It definitely feels like the complete opposite for the people that I went to high school with, or like my old, not really my friend group. Like I mean, like all the people that I went to high school with, I kind of floated around a couple different groups, but like my main friend group were pretty uncool. You know, like just like
Right.
they're like fucking. We hung out in the pit, you know, and like we'd go
Nice.
We were mall rats, you know.
Nice.
But I mean, I could still, you know, I could hang out with. I had a pretty expansive. I had my hand in a lot of different pools there, but yeah, like now, it's kind of funny when you run into people Like, it kind of goes back to what we were saying on the last one of these, where, like, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm, like, a biomedical engineer or some shit. And it's like, well, that's crazy. Like, this is a guy that used to be, like, a quarterback or some shit. And it's like, oh, shit, like, right on. They're like, man, I see all your shit on the internet. Like, you're fucking playing shows in Ottawa and stuff. That's dope. And it's just like I'm the cool guy all of a sudden, which is, like, it's funny because it's like, well, I mean, you know, you always see through it, right? It's just like, yeah, but I mean, we only made like $50 and, you know, it wasn't even that great. Like, if you didn't see the crowd, it wasn't that great, but, but like, they were the shit in high school, and now they think you're the shit all of a sudden. It's just like, oh, right on, fucking, oh, how the turntables.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember like one of the first times we hung out, and then one thing it was one of the first practices that you were filling in for Lost Arts, and we were just like hanging out talking, and you were like, do you guys understand that like we're the cool kids? We're the cool kids now.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about like our past like friendships and stuff, and he was like, fuck those guys. Like, we're the cool kids now.
It's true.
Like, yeah, fuck yeah.
It's completely true. They all wish that we were that they were fucking, like, they think we're rock stars. That's the funny thing, is like fucking like people, like there's those people that I was talking about in the last one that have kids and have a house and all that shit. They'll see that you went and played a show in Brantford, and they're like, that's fucking crazy. You know?
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't possibly imagine going to Brantford without their whole family now.
Yeah.
But then also, like, going and having people like listen to your songs and like clap for you and shit, you know? You get to have these cool photos of you like fucking doing star power and shit.
I remember when we played in Hamilton, my friend Bailey came out, and her and I have like an interesting relationship, but we played the gig, and it was like a pretty good show. And so we're done, and I was like, yeah, like how was that or whatever, and she was like, it was really good. It was definitely a lot better than like I was anticipating or whatever. And I was like, oh, well, we've like had music out and stuff for like a while, so like thanks for checking that out.
Yeah.
Well, you know. I was like, which I was just being an asshole, but that's also our relationship is like,
yeah, you bust each other's balls.
Like we can't really even talk to each other without just kind of like being shitty to one another. But it's all in love.
Those are the better friends.
I think like, it's that's always like a funny thing where it's like, oh yeah, like I didn't expect it to be like good.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
cool,
oh,
fucking
man.
thanks, dude.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. What did you ever like? Did you ever find it? So like if you're playing out of town or whatever, do you ever think like, okay, like who do I know that I went to high school with that was like is like going to school in Toronto or whatever that like might come out? Did you ever do that and then like be like, hey, how do I send this message without sounding like a total fucking
100%
crazy person?
A lot of times, like at one point, I think it was with Radio Caroline, I was mostly doing this. When I would go to a city, like if I would go to Toronto especially, I would hit up all the artsy kids for sure. And like the photographer people or like the other musicians and stuff, I'd say like, hey, I've got a gig tonight. You should come check it out if you can. And sometimes if they were a close enough friend or if I knew them well enough back in the day, I'd be like, I'll even put you on the list if you can't afford it. You know, like,
right.
Which, I mean, sometimes I just kind of coerces and be like, all right, I'll go and I'll pay. Fuck it. But the photographer ones, I'd always say, you should come and like, you can come shoot for us and like, we'll pay you and stuff. Which, I mean, it doesn't always work, right? I mean, people are sometimes busy and all that sort of shit. But that has worked for the next gig for me, for sure. You'll be like, hey, come take some photos or whatever. And then, like, they might even not even open it that day. But then they'll be like, oh, I'll definitely make it for the next one. And then they show up for the next one. And whether they take photos or not, whatever. But But yeah, I've done the cold message a few times. And it tends to work sometimes. When it does work, it's pretty great.
Yeah, it feels it's that thing of like, I know we haven't fucking talked in a while, and I'm like genuinely not trying to be like that fucking guy. Like, it's like come to the gig and like let's hang out.
We'll have a beer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to see.
Yeah. I actually like I had my buddy Eric who was whatever, it doesn't matter what the current relationship status is, but was dating this girl in high school.
Right.
So like we were friends. But she also like kind of hung out with like a different crew. But when we played Toronto the first time, I messaged her and I was just like, hey, like we're coming to the Toronto, like if you can make it, whatever. And she was like, yeah, for sure, I'll come. And then she brought like a bunch of other people that we went to high school with.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck. I was like blown away. It was super weird because we were setting up in this one. It was at Bovine. So have you ever been to Bovine before?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like yeah. So you know like the stage is like at the front of the building. So the door comes like side stage.
Yep.
So we're setting up, and I think so. Dalen had already been there, so we were talking, and then she's like, "Yeah, like these other two people are coming," and I'm like, "All right, cool." And we're setting up, and this other kid that I like hardly talked to in high school came in, and we made eye contact, and like I'm just like filtering through like the Rolodex in my head of like, there's no fucking way that's who it is.
Yeah.
And
You're
he
in
just goes,
disbelief.
Caleb, man, what's up? And I'm like, are you like what the fuck? And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
man, Dalen told me you were playing, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then after the show, I was talking to somebody else, and I look up, and this kid that I went, it was like the same thing, went to high school with, but then he like had like fucked off to like Ireland or some shit,
Holy
and I just
fuck.
like thought he was just in Ireland for like good, and I looked
Yeah.
up and I was like, Brendan? And he's like, yeah, dude, what's going on? And I was like, I didn't even think you were in the country.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, man, I'm here. And I'm like,
Wow.
this is super weird. That was like the weirdest gig because there was probably like 7 people that were fucking that I went to high school with, and I'd only messaged like one of them. And,
Fuck yeah.
And they were all there, and that was super weird.
Yeah.
And then like Nick was like, how do you know all these people? And I was like, oh,
I
I
don't.
messaged my high school friends.
Yeah, I
like you
messaged
should
one
have done.
person, but I mean, like, really, I don't. That's like the best one.
Yeah.
Liam's always had crazy luck with that. When we were playing in Basic White, he'd be like, "Yeah, I messaged Rowan," and then this Rowan chick would show up with like 20 fucking people, and it's
Yeah.
like Liam would like know a lot of them, some of them better than others, but it's like, holy fuck, how did you get 20 people to the show? It's like, oh, I messaged one person, you know? It's like, fuck yeah, dude, that is sick. But
that's wild.
in my experience, like I love that when like you run into a lot of times like I won't hit them up. Like I don't think I've ever really hit up someone that I didn't really know that well for the show kind of thing. But when you see someone that you like kind of knew in high school or like in public school or some shit, and it's like, oh my god, fucking is that Charles over there or whatever?
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, hey man, what's up? Like I heard that you were playing in town, and like they didn't hit you up about it at all, and they just show up because they're so interested in shit. Like that's so sick,
dude. And
I love that.
And they always buy a shirt, dude. And you're like,
Yeah, they
thank God.
give you money and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Even like, I mean, now, like with this whole fucking quarantine thing, like doing the live streams, there's been like several people that like I knew in high school, and they start sharing the stream. They message me and they're like, "Yeah, that was great. Can you play this song?" It's like, holy fuck, man! I didn't even know you knew I existed in high school. Like
Yeah.
you're. There's like a cheerleader that like I was like drooling over back in the day, and they're just like, "Yeah, you're so amazing." I'm like, "Oh my fucking god," just losing my mind. You
Yeah,
know
you're
who
like,
I
fuck you.
am?
Yeah.
Whoa.
They like scroll back a little too far on your Facebook, and they're like, oh, what the fuck? And they like delete the message. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh no.
They
Just,
start
clean
liking your
Facebook.
profile pictures from 2013. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in. I am in. I'm a rock star now.
You're like, oh man, fucking like grade 10 Craig would have fucking had a heart attack right now.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
he knew what was going on.
Yeah, I would be writing this in my diary so hard right now.
Holy shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a weird one, man. I almost find like the non musician friends though, they can be like some of your biggest fans though.
Definitely.
Like my buddy Eric or Jobin are really great guys for fucking. I sent Jobin the music video the other day, because we were like just trying to finish up some editing, and he's a photographer and does some video editing. So I was like, I sent it to him, and was like, hey man, like I'd love your input on this. Just I'm not gonna tell you what we think. And he was like, dude, this is like, he fucking loved it, and he was like so stoked on it. And he was like, thank you so much for giving me on like an early look. And it was funny because like Jobin will sometimes talk like we're not like best friends, and I'm like, dude, of course I sent it to you. I fucking love you. You're like my favorite person of all time.
Yeah,
like you're not just some guy, dude. Like we've known each other forever.
Right,
Like,
of
fuck,
course I'm
like,
gonna send this
I'll
to you.
love you till the end of time. And he's like, dude, I really appreciate you showing me this early. I'm like, well, yeah, dude, what?
That is
I
funny.
trust your opinion, man.
Yeah, I've got I'm the same way. Like most of my non-musician friends are the ones that are like dedicated like fans that'll like support, they'll buy shit, you know.
Yeah.
And my buddy Jordan's like one of the a prime example. He's He's always there every show. What time do you play? I'm gonna he's one of the people that'll ask what time I play for like the right reason. It's like, oh, I'm gonna show up right when you play, then I'll be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like it's always nice to have those like financially, so like as like fucking sellouty as it sounds almost, like those people that'll like actually go out of their way and buy your shit. It's like that's like coming to the show, that's amazing, and like buying a ticket and all that sort of shit too. But it's like when you're going out of your way to like fucking directly support an artist, it's like holy shit, man, like that means so much.
Totally. Yeah, it's great. Well, it's funny. It's like my friend Bailey, I like pretty much forced her into like buying a shirt, and I think I like basically gave it to her for like $5, and then she came up at Christmas and she was like, yeah, my dad wants one because her dad's a musician, and so her dad bought a shirt, and then apparently he wears it at like every gig that he plays. It's like his gig shirt. I'm like,
hell
fuck
yeah.
And then I was at New Year's. I was like, so Bailey, do you even like wear that shirt or like what's the deal? She was like, she's like, well, like I actually wear it at the gym a lot, but she's like, you probably don't like that. And I was like, actually, that's probably better.
That's
than
the best.
just wearing it out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if you're wearing it at the gym, you're just wearing it. You're not like wearing it under something. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, there you go. I'm like, that's better promotion than fucking like, oh yeah, I wear it out, but like I wear like a flannel over top of it so nobody can fucking see it.
Yeah, or it's my sleep shirt. It's like, oh, awesome.
Yeah. Oh,
that is great.
Perfect.
It means it's sentimental almost. You know, they actually give a shit. But it's like, oh, no one's seeing it then.
Yeah, nobody's seeing it. So I'm like the gym, like everybody's looking at it. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. Like people have no idea what it is or seeing it, which is fucking rad. Get that brand out there.
I mean, that's the other thing is like. Yeah. Our shirt, the one that we have right now, it just kind of looks like a regular fucking shirt, so it doesn't really look like a band shirt, but
those are the better ones.
Whatever.
That like that's the shit that I would like as a musician. If I went to go buy another musician's merch, I like the shit that like I'm gonna wear it because it looks good, not because it's like I'm gonna buy this to support. Yeah, like of course I'm gonna buy it to support, but I want to.
I find band shirts are tough, man. Like I find that I'm like really picky with band shirts.
Really?
And, like, that's why I went with like the logo or like the way that we did it, because I kind of stole it from Brighter Green. One of Brighter Green shirts is like that. And every time I wore that Brighter Green shirt, people were like, that's a cool shirt. What is that?
That's a cool shirt. Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm like, yeah, we're doing it this way. Because like I just hate the band shirt where it's like logos in the front center of the chest.
Yeah.
Like, that looks it mostly looks bad.
Yeah,
sometimes
you just
it looks
want it to
good.
look
like,
good.
Depending on what your like logo and font can be, sometimes it does look good.
Yeah.
But like I kind of like the chest piece, and then it's like the left chest,
and then
like,
maybe a back piece too. Those are cool.
Yeah, maybe a back piece too. But
I like
something that like looks stylish, man, and not.
That's and like I said, like
band.
that's the shit that I'm gonna wear, right? Like I'm gonna buy it and wear it because it looks good, and I'm gonna wear it all the time. Like I always say, like single specific merch is really good. Like if it's just like an image related to a single or something. Like I don't necessarily need to have Lost Arts right across my chest or like fucking Heart Attack Kids right across my chest. Like if you can just get like a cool logo. It's like, oh, it's a really cool shirt. It's like, oh yeah, it's for this band. Like you're almost more likely to get the promotion.
You want to set it up so whoever's wearing it, like somebody is like, oh, what is that? That's cool.
Right.
So then, as opposed to just like, oh, that looks like a band shirt. Oh, do they even listen to AC/DC?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, there's no lightning bolts on it. How am I supposed to know that's a band shirt?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. I don't know if we like totally talked about if we stay on topic the whole time, but
we totally
that felt
had
good.
a pretty linear podcast there. I think
It was relatively linear.
Relatively.
I don't know what kind of question we have for the people out at this.
Well, I guess like a general one would be like like how do you find it maintaining relationships as a musician? Do you find it to be challenging? Do you find it difficult for your love life? Do you find it difficult for your social life? It's interesting to hear what you guys think. You know, because I mean, personally, I find it difficult to maintain a romantic relationship as a musician because you're gone so much, you know, or you're busy. And I mean, like, I also going back to that meme thing that I shared years ago. There was like, your significant other doesn't need to go to every single show that you play. And I feel like that
Yeah.
has somehow been lost, where it's like it's almost like an exhausting idea that these people have in their mind when they date me anyway. It's like, oh, you're playing another show. Oh, I gotta go to this other show. It's like, no, you don't have to go. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to
Save it
be
for the
there
good
every time.
ones.
I don't go with you every day to work. You know, like,
Yeah.
oh God, you're going to the McDonald's again. I gotta eat McDonald's again. God.
Yeah. I just sit here and I'm rude if I'm on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I'm
Yeah,
posting.
man.
I gotta promote for the show. It's like fucking well, fucking whatever. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
like my social. I mean, like I have primarily my circle of friends are musicians now for sure. But I mean, like my friendships. I mean, yeah, my high school friends and non-musician friends. They might see me a little less frequently, but I mean, it's still great when I see them. But I mean, yeah, it's interesting to hear what other people have to say.
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, yeah, you gotta go do a live stream, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll
So,
probably be a little fashionably late, but not a big
That's
deal.
cool. That's a rock star, man.
Yeah,
Fucking
for
Axl
sure.
Rose it. Don't turn the live stream on till 11.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna start when I'm supposed to finish.
Yeah, man, cool. Well, yeah, man, go fucking listen to some Heart Attack Kids and some fucking DIY Orchestra and Lost Arts. Listen to Waitlist. We got a music video coming.
Yeah.
Go listen to some other fucking We Should Jam Sometime episodes.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, man, fucking see everybody or talk to everybody, listen to everybody next time, next
yeah.
week.
Yep. See y'all
Okay,
next
bye.
time.
Okay, bye.